This is Jay Todd, and you're listening to Pastor Denczil on Glory 93.9 FM.
What's up, worshipers? You are tuned in right now with Pastor Denczil right here on Glory 93.9 FM.
You're all I need. I got something over there. I'm reaching somewhere. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. So glad to have you tuned in with us, the Glory 93.9, the first wave of glory, to hit the atmosphere, stratosphere, ionosphere, hemisphere, red cross fair, and all the fairs in the world. I think the fairs are starting to reopen. Of course, fairs were closed for a long time, but I hear they're opening it back up now. That's what I hear. We'll see how that goes. Once everybody gets vaccinated, then we can have more fairs. So glad you're tuning in here. It is a little late. It is 5:43. Getting started here. So glad to have you tune in to One-on-One with Pastor Denczil, Pastor Rickeno, and we may soon add a third one. We can get excited.
Just make no consent for Florida for the time being.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get too excited about adding the third one. We don't want to move hastily because we was on a groove some years ago, but 3 years ago we had a good groove going. We thought we had this thing locked in. Next thing you know, we heard he got engaged. Shortly after, that was it.
He was disengaged after
He was
that.
disengaged. That's what happened,
I thought they didn't finish. I thought we didn't finish, man.
Yeah.
If we didn't come back, I don't really get them.
No.
You throw that big block.
Bring that my clothes.
That big block when we was to your church.
I
You throw
already
this
know,
big
man.
block.
That didn't finish.
No.
That
You
was me.
created a
No,
picture as though we were the ones.
No,
that
I
was
didn't
up
say
to
that. I didn't say
that.
that.
Won't still gushing little
Actually, that was a miss, That was like, I missed y'all so much, I just had to throw it in there.
No. The way
you
you
talking to preachers. Yeah.
and I just glad Pastor Rickeno said psychology. I just glad what he said because I don't know what it. I think this dude did not just spin this thing and put it on us.
No.
Right?
No, let the record will
Like
reflect.
this Negro.
The record will reflect. I went on sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
What your
It's
revelation
a long
is.
Sabbath.
What your revelation is. What your fresh revelation is. Because these sabbaticals you all have been around here. I got to ask a question.
That's just vacation breaking.
You said it, not me.
At best. At best.
And rest is important.
Yes, of course.
That's important.
Of course.
That boy wasn't arrested.
I just say rest is important.
That boy got 2 babies now. He be resting. He on the way to 2 babies.
He rests too much. That's what I'm got too much energy.
Rest.
Oh, man.
So anyway, but we're glad to have him. And like I said, I ain't putting up no banners. I ain't changing no name yet.
Right.
I know. We desire to have him here regularly.
Right.
Every Monday. We desire to have him every Monday, but I ain't gonna throw out no banners yet.
Yeah, let me have his council meeting first.
Yeah. Let's see. And of course, it's a bad time because he can have an easy excuse in the next couple of weeks. A very, very easy excuse.
Easy.
And I believe I ain't gonna believe in the validity of it, but he can try to use it. But we'll see.
Of course.
Anyway, How was it at Bethel on Saturday?
It was powerful.
Why you haven't church on Saturday? Let me do that. Dino is one of the newest pastors in the country,
Right.
and his services are held on. I was wondering why he's hearing all that static. I just realized thing was not my hair properly. I was getting ready to come. Reach this thing ain't working properly. I had it up here. Why did I say this thing ain't waking, man? All right. Yeah. Dean is one of the new pastors. Yeah. Hold on a second. We need you to share this video. We see all you on Facebook, and our numbers kind of low, and we don't. Pastor Ken and I still catch feelings when our numbers are low. That ain't cool with us. And so, if you're tuned in, wherever you're tuned in from, and you're on Facebook, please go ahead and share the video. Of course, we appreciate those of you on the radio, persons who listen on the radio. I saw a brother. Where was I? I was at one store somewhere in the Eastern District, and he was telling me how much he enjoyed not barbershop talk, one-on-one with myself and Pastor Rickeno. Then I got word from a nurse, one of the wonderful people taking care of my mom. And she said, yes, so we continue to believe God. Mm-hmm. She says that she loves the show with Pastor Denczil, Pastor Rickeno. Wow. So she loves how we deal with stuff and everything like that. She didn't call your name, Dino, because you don't
exactly, because I was in here. Exactly. So,
let me help you before you put your foot in your mouth. Let me help you. Yeah, you wasn't here. They probably, if you said she was sad in love with you, Pastor Rickeno and Pastor Dino. So we thank God for you, all of the nurses that are listening, and all of you who are giving care right now to my mom. We appreciate you so much for what you're doing, and we know God is indeed the great physician, and He is in the room. Amen. Glory to God. Thank you for those of you listening. I want you to share it. You share it in the church screen, man. Them to people, tell the members them tune in.
Yes, sir.
Members of Word of Life, go ahead and share it out there for me, please. Let them know.
They normally
share. They always there now. They always there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Word of Life always there.
Yeah. All right. Good. You at Bethel now,
Bethel.
Yes, Bethel, man. Yes, put it out there.
I will.
All right. Thanks. All right. Why you have a church on Saturday?
We have church because the arrangement we have now is we're sharing a space with another congregation, so they use Sunday mornings. So we are Saturday evening.
So your preference is Sunday?
No, but I like Saturday. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Saturday.
Was that the original preference, or that's just?
That is just arrangements. Yeah.
Okay.
Necessity caused it.
So now
yeah, but I like it.
I got you.
Yeah, I like
it. Growing you now.
It growing me. Yeah. And somebody got to take that.
People acclimated to it.
Yeah, they like that. They like that. They like that. I like it. You got to do them on Sunday mornings. I get a visit. I can visit.
You don't visit nowhere.
I could visit. I said. I didn't say. Listen, what can't hear my words carefully.
I mean, when you're finished preaching Saturday night, I don't know how much visiting you could be doing.
Nah. I can throw my friend under the bus. My friend is gonna. I know my friend. No, let me take it back. I'm proud of my friend now because my friend now is preach on in the night and still come to the gym the next morning.
Ah, boy.
Okay.
There was a phase in his life.
Okay.
He preached on Monday.
And I need like 2 days to recover.
You will see him till Thursday.
You're right.
So let me tell you.
So he doing better.
No, I was getting ready to throw him under the bus, but I gotta say I've seen vast improvement.
Yes, indeed.
That I'm on the same past week. He preached on Thursday. We were in the gym on Friday.
In the gym on Friday.
Wide open.
Right. Wide open.
All right. Yeah. So
and I was there.
Yeah.
And mine on Friday.
And you been, you really ain't lifted that much, but you was there anyway, But you did work out on Thursday too.
I did work out on the day I was preaching.
On the day I was preaching.
That is foreign.
No, you turned a new leaf now.
Denczil must be good company.
Yeah. Or bad. We can find a little bad.
The preacher said it was okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I normally just get an O. I get an O and a K, man. I do well.
But I tell you, my son said to me, I preached on Friday. my son said to me when we were driving home, because he and I drove home together. He said, "Daddy, how did you feel you did tonight?"
That's a tricky question.
I was like, "Well, mother," he said, "How do you feel that you did?" I didn't know how to answer.
That's a tricky question.
Like he has a feeling that I did, but he didn't want to bring it to me too hard. Like, let me see how you
Let's
feel.
start off with that, so I can know how to gauge this conversation.
Bro, I said, "Daddy, how do you feel that you did?" I mean, this 7-year-old in my car got me now panicking whether I miss God or not. 7 years old, Lord help me.
Wow.
Oh man. So anyway, it's a lot going on. This is Independence Week. It's our last show before Independence. We celebrate our independence on Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
Saturday, right? Saturday.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is not a facetious question at all. Does it mean anything to us?
Pardon me?
Does it mean anything to you guys here? The whole independence thing?
Yeah,
the reality of it?
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't mean historically. I mean, like, do you?
That's what it means.
Because I mean, like you be. Is there like, oh my God, this is Independence Week and this and that?
No,
how certain dates have a.
That's not.
That's what I want to get to.
That has lost its flair over the recent.
It had a flair for you.
It did. I love
Like you had a sense of patriotism.
I
that
used
came
to
over
go
you.
to the tattoo and all kind of things.
I
definitely
used to
did.
do that, but I'm saying, but was it like, oh my God, this sense of we're free, give us free? I don't. That's
But I was
what
born
asked.
in freedom, so I don't know. I didn't
That's-
celebrate. I was born.
Then
in
what I trying to say to you is I didn't even go to the tattoo no more.
Well,
They still love it.
What you trying to make it? Well, you didn't have the COVID, did you?
No, they started having it every 5 years.
No, I mean up before
But-
COVID, they were still
no,
on
they-
every
yeah.
5.
every
See,
5 years
what's
was
going
the
on?
major.
Why is
no,
every 5 years?
It was
now?
a major because I guess the expenses and all that.
The expense, the effort, and everything. They made that was.
See, I having a problem.
No
no,
problem.
no.
Now you don't come.
No,
You stop coming.
The tattoo is different. The tattoo is the night parade. They will still have the.
You want the
ecumenical
committee or something
service
because
and-
you very defensive.
I just tell
But
you
I
what it is.
defensive because he's done say he stopped game from he was
Right.
from he was 9. So I don't know why he have all this one. Know why it stopped.
I never said from I was 9.
11.
I could have stopped going 5 years ago.
Somebody's 11.
I could have stopped going 5 years ago.
No.
Last
The
time,
point
last time to being through, it was pilling up there.
Oh boy,
He
I believe so.
Yeah, he misses.
He
Pilling.
misses it.
You weren't in the prophetic, man. I into you. the,
Last was in '91. He was
the point I'm
91.
making is we have to stop using money as an excuse to always take
no,
things.
but listen, it wasn't the night
Please
march.
explain. Please explain.
The night march with the police and all that because that's what tattoo is. The night march.
That's
night
the
parade.
tattoo.
So what happens is it's still the ecumenical, still the prayer around the flag at midnight, still
And the
fireworks.
arm branches.
Right, and the arm branches would march on
Right.
one time. They would have the governor general do their inspection. That's it. But the whole parade, the show, and all that is not every year.
So Dino, that's what I'm talking about.
What
Oh, you see the dogs
What do
jumping
you-
down.
The tattoo.
What do you call the tattoo? Let me make sure you understand.
That's
What
a
do-
ta, not
no.
the two.
What do you call the tattoo? Let me make sure you
The
understand.
tattoo is the whole experience.
No,
No,
the-
I
the tat-
no,
the-
hold on,
the-
don't help me. I want to understand because sometimes people
Right.
misunderstand.
Gotcha.
Even
Okay,
if you
so
explain
what
it.
that so the
What
dog
do
show
you
is
mean?
different from the tattoo there.
Yes, the dog show and the little
So that's not the tattoo.
no.
Okay.
That's an additional show
So
that they
we
added.
having every 5 years. You said the tattoo every 5
No, we haven't
years.
that. We haven't that every 5
The
years.
dog show every 5 years.
Yeah, the
Why they
dog
run on the
show.
trick say?
No, I don't know if it's just what I know the tricks too.
No, it's just
Um,
expenditure. Expenditure was the
I
rationale
but see we
behind it.
I
still
don't-
come with the same bottom line.
You
I
saw
don't
was
feel-
it only expenditure? Because
That's-
me talking to some, and I need if you're a former police officer or senior police officer listening, or someone in the know back then, help me with this. I heard too that the thing was about there was a lot of man hours being lost in preparation too.
No, I don't. I
From-
don't
You mean
I heard some
on the
of that.
streets
Yeah, from officers in armed branches that there was a lot of
from them being
that may have,
preparing for
to
that show.
prepare, right.
Yeah.
Right.
that may have
that-
been that may have been.
I heard
know
that.
the PM at the time said expenditure costs, and so we do this every 5 years.
Yeah, I think too much painting. I mean, the Christmas decorations, you can't even get Christmas decorations now because of expenditure. I mean, come on, man.
I appreciate
It's
what I
something about the climate. You got to bring some energy and
Agreed.
life. You got to have some
Agreed.
time to celebrate and
Agreed.
rejoice. I mean, find something and just create a different climate. You need them things. That's why we have culture.
I agree. You have them things,
And that
but you
was
don't need the
culture.
dog show every year.
You need the dog show every year.
No, you let them walk.
No.
Just like John Canoe every year.
Every
No,
year,
they say near
the
and
dog
there's been
march.
There's
The
been
dog will
same
march.
Rowan, but the dog run behind the fellow who shoot the
Oh,
gun.
this thing's so boring.
Yeah, that's
Do something else.
Yeah, so go do something else then.
So we want to go
Get more creative.
More man hours. Not
Yeah,
the
get
show.
more creative.
I want my police working crime. I don't want my police them. I'm
Wow.
spilling over dog and thing and run on motorbike and thing like that. No, I have no problem with that. Once
Wow.
every 5 years, give me that show.
Wow.
I feel that you know what is for me. Don't forget, I used to be a band in the band. So for me, I see in the band come out there and the military element of it. I get with that.
Listen, I loved it. I used to march.
The
every
military
year.
component of it, with them marching out and then
I used to march every year.
line, show the line. Sir, I like that. Line. I like all
And they
that.
had to prepare for that.
Yeah.
And that take man hours.
Not as much as that one thing though, because you adding that other element to that now.
And it take
Listen,
man hours.
But I understand
I
what you're saying
understand it's a
too.
poor argument.
There's a
No,
pride.
it all take man hours.
And it's more men.
And the people in
it's
K9
more-
are not the people who doing the military thing. They two different sections of the force.
What?
They
still
training
the
with them dogs all the time. So man hours.
It's man hours.
I dealing with the expenditure.
but
it's
I
not
still,
no man hours.
No, but I
Man
still
hours.
They
appreciate.
dealing.
There's still a sense of pride that you get when you.
I'm
go out
wondering
there
if you was
and you
coming
feel it.
along on this
No, there's still a
bandwagon.
sense of pride. I still drop a
Without-
every
without-
time.
without the dog.
They raise their flag. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that's a
Without the
different
dog, I don't
section.
need a dog.
Thank you so much. Someone says man hours and supplies. Thank you so much.
It's
Yeah,
not no
'cause-
man hours, man. They.
You say please.
Oh, that's true. That's the police talking.
Oh,
Probably.
No, Army. It's not the police talking.
I know.
No, it may take some man hours, right? But don't they train with the dogs all the time?
They do.
So how is it taking so many man out? And wait, if they doing the same thing every year, just what you just say, how it taking man hours?
I sure would take a lot of effort.
Because you have a lot of the rehearsals. And
I'm glad your voice gone down. You know we're normal.
I get only my voice getting dry. That's all.
Rehearsal and all that kind of stuff.
Other nonsense. We need to invest in those kind of things. It creates a spirit of family, patriotism, and I agree. I love the military aspect of it. The dog show. I mean, come on, these things we can't keep taking and sucking out of the things that breathe spirit
show,
and life.
House and all that. I miss them.
Come on.
The motorcycles and stuff.
Now stick to that one. Don't go backpedal no more. Don't lie.
And then
I miss them, but it's still every 5 years.
Every 5 years.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah, as a finance man, so I can watch the money too. I can spend every 5 years.
That's why you're always in management, not leadership.
But the difference is total.
I was so low just now.
Yes.
Listen, you know what?
Why
I
gotta
don't
go there?
appreciate
watching the money.
Listen, you gotta listen.
Gotta build the spirit of the people.
And then we have line up. Branch number 3. Come on the line. Whatever it is we said. Line up.
The 2, 3, and then
that's good. That's a
like
fun.
I'm in school without sports day. You need sports day.
And then we give you
need fun day.
No, you
when they take fun day out of school, the average. You see the average now. I put fun day back in.
I spoke at a graduation. I spoke at a graduation last week. The principal said every day is fun day, so you know they don't have no more fun day.
Mike got a principal.
He said every day is fun day.
Every day is fun day.
He beat us in Andrews. I know there's a fun day up there. That's why.
I doubt it.
So he mad at us. He mad at us because we not fun day. They had that kind of fun day. No dance and things like that
in the music room.
And he probably had to still be doing something else. He couldn't go anyway. So I don't know. That's what happened. Highway tell him you can't go to the dance concert.
Highway.
I'm coming bishop.
Highway.
He was bishop from about 6 years old, you know. So he couldn't go to the dance. Don't mind him.
Highway.
Him hating on us because we gonna go to the dance.
Y'all ever do a man go Alfonso roll? Highway. That ain't never get to the highway. How to get to highway?
Hey, to this day, I's a big growing man.
How to get to highway?
Alfonso roll sitting here, my voice will not even be this loud.
Listen to me. When I walk in last week and he was by the door, I said, I didn't know. I bow. I didn't know what to do.
I slap myself in my mouth. When Bishop around. Jesus of mercy.
So highway, I had nothing to do highway.
Highway
can have a dance.
They have a dance.
They can have a dance. It's fun to be like, dying for you. Dying for you, buddy.
You was thinking you'd be praying me.
But those no, but there is the police operation that they do, and there's a cultural show that happens as well.
It is.
And then now when you have all of those elements, I remember one year. Now I can be honest, I don't remember who was in government. I was upset with this because it was a tattoo year.
Okay.
And it was a tattoo. When I say tattoo, from the standpoint that we are
the dog
tattoo.
Right.
Yeah. When, like you said, I found out now the tattoos. Then the whole thing is the tattoo.
Yeah. Night parade.
But in our mind, tattoo mean dogs, fire truck, this and that.
Right.
The house going fire, things of that nature. And they had that, and then they went into the military thing they're supposed to do. And they brought in the explosions like 40 minutes later, something like that.
Right, I remember that.
That was hideous to me. That was horrible. That was nonsense. Where they had the cultural show, and the dances on the field, and then I think that year they might have one church band as well, march on the field. Then they brought this and the tattoo, and then overdid it, and then they didn't bring the new in, they didn't bring independence in until 35 minutes late, and I thought it was just horrendous, man.
Yeah,
you know that shouldn't happen. Anyway, I think I'll make this one point. I'll make this one point and won't go no further than this. I believe that independence should be the greatest explosion of culture that we have every year.
True.
I believe that. Because that's what we celebrate nationhood.
Yes.
You know. Yes. So I won't get into the hot discussion that's out there now. I need to get more information. I know there are parties that are talking, whatever the case is, and I need to get some more information before I can speak directly to it. But I will say that this is supposed to be the greatest cultural expression to me every year.
Especially, yeah.
Because Junkanoo is an aspect of culture.
Agreed.
But
What's that?
Junkanoo is an aspect of culture, of our culture. I should call 9 here to define culture where they learn it in school. But I think it's how people live their lives, whatever the case is.
Right.
So there are all these expressions of culture.
Language,
right.
Norms, and all that kind of stuff.
So my thing is that there should never be a botched independent show.
Ever.
Never.
This should be easier this year, actually, since it's virtual.
Well, I mean, and yes, but I guess my whole thing is that there should be a level of, boy, they put work into this.
Yes.
They went all out for this because it's independent. Yes. And let me put this there. I don't care if it's the all gospel, if it's this is behemoth me now. If it's the all secular, the all skit, the all whatever it is, whatever direction they decide to go, it should be a production that makes the nation say, oh yeah, I can see that. I can see me in that. I can identify myself in that because it's the celebration of nationhood.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing I want to say there. And I feel several years we missed. There were several years that we missed. There are some yesterday I think they nailed it. But other years like, man, this should be tight. There shouldn't be no oops in this.
Yeah.
And I say this a lot of times to people, to the chagrin of many, that the things they allow, we don't allow them in church. And that's why as pastors be hard, because we don't go for slips. Mm-hmm. We try to do our best to go to keep it as tight as possible. Mm-hmm. And we do this every week, sometimes twice, 3 times a week. Right. So I can't see if you're getting paid to do it. And we have a lot of other things we're doing, but we have to focus to make sure that's done right. Mm-hmm. If we have people who are being paid to give me a tight production, I don't want no excuses.
And at national level, you got to always consider the fact that every resource in the nation is basically available to you.
Yeah, man.
You get called just about anyone to help, assist, make things happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I ain't giving no laps on performance. Right. From let me extend the argument. When I hear bad notes from the police band, I have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a problem for me. Mm-hmm. No, you're getting paid to represent my country.
Right.
I want perfection from the police band.
Right.
I don't want that. No, I don't hear that clarinet in tune properly. Right. And I just listen for that. I'm a musician, so I listen for that. Sure. I want to hear perfection because you represent the nation,
right?
And this is what you paid to do. Gotcha. So don't tell me that. I don't want. I don't need. And let me extend it even more. I don't need the health team bragging about what they do to put it. That's we paying you all the health team. I appreciate what they're doing, but I don't want you to pretend now you're doing the nation a favor. This is your job. I don't need NEMA celebrating how organized they are. No, you're supposed to be organized. Mm-hmm. We paying you, and you paid. You wait for you got hurricane season for 6 months. You have 6 months no hurricane. We expect you to be wide open, planning, putting yourself together. Right. So I don't hear nothing but no off guard.
The last,
I don't hear no off guard. If you NEMA, I said this back in Dorian. To me, NEMA should only be planning for Category 5 and Category 6.
Exactly.
Why is NEMA planning for Category 1?
Exactly. Makes sense.
The only thing that NEMA should be planning for is Category 5, 6, and throw an 8 in there every once in a while.
Right.
get a little fancy. Put a Hurricane 8 in there.
But it shouldn't take us by surprise.
No. Yeah. No, take us, but not them.
Us as in them.
Okay, yeah.
And it shouldn't take us by surprise.
They can't like they was us. Like, hold on, okay, let me be shocked. Y'all can't be shocked too. That's what got me with the whole. And I'm not talking about. I understand that there was just a Dorian, but the scrambling that was happening in the aftermath of Dorian, it was totally unacceptable. This why we scrambling.
And that's why even in the finance, I guess beyond finance, you have stress testing where you look at the worst case scenario and then you keep upgrading it to see how much can we handle. And then when you look at the very worst scenario, you know how to plan and do proper things. Right. But I guess that isn't.
No, that should be the mindset in this every sphere.
In every sphere. And
it's all you are paid to do.
This is your job.
This your job. Master this.
We don't think on that level. And unfortunately we don't demand at that level.
Right. And we should have like the global perspective, analysis, data, latest, whatever. I mean, you have resources and money going toward high paying jobs. That there should be no excuses in those kind of situations.
I see a comment here. Tommy Libon say, love this show. Tommy, this show loves you too, yeah?
And such a pretty beautiful lady.
Yeah, Tommy, this show loves you too.
Love you too, Shaq. That's a nice Facebook picture. I know Tom.
Chris works a lot, says, you know Tom?
Yeah, I know from the church of
be careful, she might not go there no more. You sure she says go there?
No, that's
I know it's enough.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
ain't no.
leave that alone.
Yeah,
I'll
you
leave
get
it
in
more
trouble.
trouble.
Let
I know it's enough. You know.
Let Tommy say that's a whole shouldn't go in the morning
Anyway,
because it's getting
I
trouble.
know-
Then
I know
Tommy stop
okay,
loving this show.
I know Tommy from there.
Okay,
I know
good.
Tommy-
Good. Tommy, we love you here. I didn't try to get you in trouble.
No matter where you go, we love you.
Chris says work man hours and supplies.
Right.
Talking about why they cut back the show. Yeah. So there's a I've been talking about this at length. There's a spirit of mediocrity in this country. Of just getting by.
Yeah.
We don't demand excellence. To me, we don't demand excellence. I told him we suffer from identity crisis. We don't know who we are. We don't know our value. We don't know our worth, and that's why we're so blown away when somebody comes with a lighter hue and some pretty pictures, and we just blown off the map. Like, oh my God, this is amazing.
And you say we? Who
Is it a place?
I think it's become, unfortunately, cultural. That's how we function.
It has become. It wasn't always that.
I don't think. No, I think we had a sense of pride
We did have a sense of pride.
and identity, and like hold on, no. I don't. Even if we ain't that smart, explain that to me. Broke that down for me.
Right.
But no, I ain't that blown away by this.
Right.
Broke that down for me. What that mean?
Exactly.
But now you come with pretty pictures and sounding smart and be like, okay, let's do it. Give me 10 of them.
Right.
That seems to be the way we functioning now. That we're very easily impressed.
Why?
So,
Unfortunately.
I tell you, we don't know. We have a sense of
How
of
we
worth.
get there? How we get there? That's what I'm talking about. Why we like that?
Let me go, Maxwell. Everything rises and falls on leadership.
So crazy. But it's true. It is true.
That's what Maxwell said.
It is true.
Everything rises and falls on leadership.
It is true.
You know?
And that's leadership from the national level to the home, to the church, et cetera.
I've been on this crazy Bill Winston run down the gym, and I've been to this place before. Bill make a voice now. I believe it's the church's job to change these kind of narratives. That we put a dent in this narrative when we give people a sense of worth, a sense of identity. What we have done
They gotta listen though.
I agree. In some quarters, though, we've created a culture of entitlement. We have fed. Entitlement is one. That's the one we get. That's horrible. These people that somebody owes you something. Next is this sense of just manipulated. We've been so manipulated. People are being manipulated, so there's no sense of your own value. So I find value in my leader, or through my leader,
or my party, etc.
Not in the
Myself,
individual, And all these things are anti the gospel and anti the kingdom message. But how we got it is I know.
You just said it.
No, I mean, well, how did those people get to that point of influence to get us to that point?
I think when you get in leadership positions and your personal interest is your ambition and priority, it creates that kind of culture and environment. Because when you really set on helping people, it is almost, or even just being your best in a situation, it's almost natural that you will do whatever it takes to get that done. And some of the decisions I see being made, some of the things that we do, it doesn't lend itself to the idea that we have people in leadership positions who really are there to lead, help people, and do their best.
Here's the question, both pastors, and we all pastors here. What do we do? Let's say we really desperately in a place where we need, I don't know, passive evangelism, somebody to lead an area, whatever the area is, evangelism. What do we do when that person is not available in our churches? Do we put somebody there or do we leave it vacant?
I've done both. I find someone to throw them down. And in other cases, I've left it vacant. Now, whoever I put there with the mindset, I know I probably won't get what I want, but I would at least have some activity going on in the area of evangelism, and this is my best foot forward. It ain't the best, but it's just my best for now. And there are other instances where I say, you know what? I feel the best choice to make based on what I got my pool. Let me just leave this alone. Now, when it comes to country, I keep making the statement. Their resources are vast and not as limited as ours in the church. Because people got to get saved, join your church, and all these different things. Once they born, they are citizen. And I don't know too many people in a country who would not be, first of all, appreciative of the fact that their country would ask of them to lend their service in a particular area or another. I just think our narrow-mindedness, selfishness, greed, self-ambition, and insecurity in some cases keeps us in a narrow place when we have so much at our disposal. And where we may be limited in certain things, maybe as a country, we may say we may not have this expertise here. There's an area we're trying to develop in our country. As a nation, I don't know too many people around the world who ain't prepared to help the Bahamas.
Where I was going with that, and I can come back to where you ended, but I want to go from that first part. I believe one of our challenges is we made that compromise with persons that were not qualified, and then we doubled down on it.
When you just double down, you mean?
Made another compromise. And another compromise.
Instead of changing direction.
Right. And now we've ended up with something that is so off the mark.
Like a freak.
Right. You know, I think that's what has happened. Now, I totally, where Rickeno ended with the idea of the resources that are at the nation's disposal. I agree with that. But the persons who are pulling from those resources, the persons who have the call to pull from those resources, they are the political directorate, like not those representatives, those cabinet ministers, whatever the case is. The pool of persons for those offices, I really want to know how deep that pool is, you know.
For what office?
To be members of parliament.
Oh.
And cabinet officers. I really wondering
when you say you want
how many persons are really vying for those offices, and the quality and caliber of people that are vying for those offices.
Which offices now? Cabinet minister.
Cabinet.
Oh, cabinet.
Be, but obviously members of parliament.
Okay.
And then
you want to know how deep the pool is
for that.
Like there are people who would want it that we don't know of.
My thing is that one thing that has been echoed loud, and I think we all know of persons that are personal to us that are in the House of Assembly. So there's no attack on these are persons who are our friends, but like it feels as though we're getting shallower and shallower when it comes to the depth of persons that sit in the House of Assembly.
That is true.
When I look, let me.
I
can say this one piece. Robert and I got home last night after the concert last night, and the TV from was on ZNS.
Okay.
And they played a clip of Ed Bethel.
Okay.
Doing this thing. I can get in trouble right now. I say, Robin, that kind of language and that level of intellectualism, I don't see that in journalism in the Bahamas no more.
No.
There was just a command as Ed Bethel was presenting what he's presenting. I said, and God, obviously, I don't know if we can realize that we now in journalism because we on radio every week.
Right.
So
you got a media personality.
We are media personality. So I ain't
I
throwing.
promise you though, they ain't gonna take it like that.
I ain't
that was good, but I promise you.
But the truth of the matter is, if you, get mad at me, when you finish getting mad,
let's just be real.
Pull up those things from 30, 40 years ago and look at what we have now, and let's speak to the level of intellectual capacity. Let's look to, and I shouldn't say intellectual capacity. No, I mean, to me, there was a greater depth of intellectualism.
But we in a D-average climate.
Don't forget, the average climate, these are the children of those who came up in that. So where did the ball drop?
I got you off. He's making a point. So don't go at the point he's making. I just want to say how this, that I still riding on that point Rickeno made about putting somebody in position and then working with them, knowing what you can get, but you put them in there because you need somebody there.
But I tell you this though. There's a lot of dumbing down in that arena because you have to pander to powers that be. So you may have intellectual capacity, character, creativity, resources, all kind of stuff.
I can't give you character. Give me the rest.
Well, character.
Because I get a question your character if you dumb down.
Yeah, but see, at the end of the day, though, Denczil, even though you may call it question your character, if you have a leader, that ain't mean you ain't telling them behind the scenes what you have to tell them, you know. But your personal conviction may be, I'm not saying anything, it is the case, maybe that I ain't gonna publicly come out and lambaste the leader, whatever the case is. But that don't mean I'm not in their air putting pressure on them.
If the church was to be in the House of Assembly and Rickeno is one of the members of Parliament, and something's being said from that chair, any chair inside it from Kalani that's against Rickeno's convictions, he will not insult the chair, but he will make it clear that he's not with
the
it.
issue.
Because that's character. That's why I'm saying I can't give no strength of character.
Yeah, but I may not publicly come out and say some things, but that don't mean I'm not personally.
You will not publicly support it though.
But where you see public support?
All over.
Not in every case.
You watched the budget debate?
All I'm saying is the climate.
All I'm saying is if there are people of character that disagree, then I should hear it somewhere in the budget debate.
Yeah, I don't have to necessarily come out and be anti.
Now the thing is, the difficulty with that, though, Bishop, is that even in the Westminster system, this is from the cabinet level.
Yeah, Richter.
This cabinet level. You can't necessarily.
So take your office then.
Okay, put it like this.
I question your integrity.
I agree.
I question your integrity.
With
what you see where you get in there, I ain't talking no more. I ain't gonna give no more, But I can question your integrity if you say, but I bet you understand now. Now in the Westminster system, we're not allowed because when there's we got to go with what the consensus.
That's a cabinet level.
I want to go in the cabinet. Let's go in the cabinet then.
Okay.
But I'm saying if you don't come out there and tell me, but boy, I totally wasn't with that, but Westminster. No, you have no character.
No. Okay. No, that doesn't.
If you say something on this show that I utterly disagree with, right? I may not necessarily oppose you. That ain't mean I ain't gonna tell you, but this may not be the place to do that.
But you ain't gonna agree with me.
I can't come.
That's the point I'm making. So no one will be able to say by Rickeno's hypocrite because he agreed with Pastor.
All I'm saying is
they will say that.
I'm not saying you're right. I agree with you 1,000%. But I'm saying it is not in every case. I'm just saying in some cases.
At the point of when we say Westminster, even things like cabinet, there has to be a consensus coming out of that room. Now you could row, bicker, fight, disagree behind the room. If you feel so strongly, then I don't know if this comes in where you talk about character, then you resign. If you totally go against that, but I guess.
I mean, you gotta ask yourself if this issue
is worth resigning.
Is enough for me to just say I can just pull out when I could possibly
do more in there.
Do more in there. You see what I'm saying? How I gauge my conversation during the debate, I would have to kind of filter, et cetera, because I definitely don't want to be duplicitous or hypocritical. But at the end of the day, if I still feel like I could do more, get more done, be more impactful on the inside, then I need to play my guys as wise.
Now, let me make sure I qualify this. I ain't saying if they say, listen, man, we can do sidewalk. Your thing is, no, we shouldn't do sidewalk. We should build some walls.
Got you.
And we disagree on that. No, you lose that one.
Right.
We agree to sidewalks. Right. I ain't say come on, I leave Canada because
that isn't life changing.
No, and that ain't your character ain't in question there.
Sure. Right.
I'm not going about the more weightier things that now become a question of character.
No, you should. If it's a case of character and if this is vehemently against your value system, then you should resign.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Definitely.
Then you should resign. That's
definitely.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I believe though that I still believe the climate in that environment where you have to pander to the leader or the powers that be, et cetera, I've seen, I believe there have been people who have the creativity, the skill sets, and ability to make a difference and be impactful, but the environment dumbs you down.
I go ahead, Dino. I didn't cut you up, Lenny. So
go. The thing is that I don't know if the environment dumbs you down because I still speak to the quality of the person. There's no way I would be dumbed down in this kind of environment. I would use my voice to say I don't believe in this. So if my level of creativity, if my level of character, if my level of conviction is so strong, then I would not let any environment dumb me down because this is what the norm is.
Y'all ain't making sense, man.
What you mean making sense?
I can tell you right now.
I listen in.
If I give an idea that's creative, that could be impactful,
right?
That could make advancement,
right?
And the leader says that ain't happening. It is not a matter of me not bringing my best to the table. I am subjected.
No, but what you're saying
is no. That's what
I'm saying.
Wait. I'm not saying. I explained that. I said you could be saying things to the leader,
but that's
in private. No, Let me define what my meaning of dumbing down.
No,
is.
there's a universal
Ask
dumbing
me
down.
what I mean
There's
by
a
dumbing down.
universal dumbing
And not
down.
here, not here. Ask me what
Universal.
I
That
meant.
is not dumbing down.
You see, you're so arrogant. You want to determine what I mean by my statement. Let me qualify my own statement just how you qualify yours. And my point is this: to the public, you may say, "I know this person. I know they're gifted. I know they're smart. I know they're creative. Why aren't they doing more in that ministry? Their hands are tied. They ain't necessarily dumb. They just dumb down. Because
That's not dumbing down.
okay, in my opinion, and my definition, because I'm the one who making this address, that is what I meant by dumbing down. I know you be in engineering school, you got couple degrees, you smarter than everybody right now, but that's what I meant.
What we understood.
That's why you ask questions rather than drawing conclusions prematurely. I meant
When you're going to redefine a universally accepted terminology, you should define it in your statement.
when you should ask what I mean by what I say.
Now he doing the same thing
Because-
the leader doing to the man. I'm trying to tell you.
I trying to tell you now you over here.
No. I am not accepting it. Y'all should ask questions. When a man makes a statement and you ain't clear on it, when teacher makes a statement and you ain't clear on it, you ask.
That's what we okay.
No. Y'all draw conclusions.
You gave your response,
And now y'all understand,
We
right?
tell you we don't agree.
That's fine. I don't care. It don't matter. I mean, there's a conversation.
you-
Disagree.
I agree.
But just understand my position.
I got you.
My position is they could be given all the ideas, and then for us in the public, they are pared dumbed down because those ideas, suggestions, etc., are not accepted and embraced. And in a lot of instances, they can't be because the agenda is to suit certain
This ain't a budget
interests.
for this year.
Not even the budget. It's special interest group we have to please, and that ain't a part of their pleasure.
Listen to me. After all of this now, there will be those major philosophical or those I wanna do this project or whatever the case is and not get canceled down. But if you're a person of character and integrity, I will still see your brilliance show forth in whatever ministry assignment you have. You will create creative ways to move that thing forward, even though you don't get this forward. Because you can't, if you're telling me everything you put forward gets done, you can't do nothing in there, and you still sitting there, no, you have no integrity. And I'm saying that it's not a case that you getting everything shut down. You probably have this thing that you can't do. So now you use your ingenuity, your innovation, your creativity, and use your undumbed down self to make some things happen. Now, if you stop doing, now I can expand and then let it become dumbed down. If I can't see your brilliance reflected, if you're the minister of agriculture and I ain't seeing nothing happening, then you saying, well, boy, everything I try to do this, they shouldn't be done. No, you've been dumbed down and you need to move. Because you can't tell me you in that chair and everything shut down.
Everything shut down.
No, nonsense. Nonsense. So
you're telling a person who feel like, man, I gotta keep fighting for this, even though they ain't accepting this. 5 years I've been here fighting for it, but the budget keep going in another direction. They keep saying this our emphasis, that ain't our emphasis. So you got to do this and that, and I fighting for this. So you telling me give up my resilience because they're ignoring me?
No.
You said I shouldn't be there, but you
can't.
don't know.
No, I'm saying I should see.
You shouldn't have that one thing on your agenda for the 5 years.
Not just one thing. It could be a plethora of things. But if you, just like you said, if the budget isn't in this particular direction,
right?
Some of the creative, groundbreaking, trailblazing things I may need to do will require a certain amount of money, and I can't do it. Now,
if your hands are that tight, you can't.
Don't tell me leave.
If your hands are that tight and you cannot pull nothing on it, nothing of the vision plans you have in place.
Because I ain't planning to stay for 2 years. I plan it for 5 years.
Listen to what I'm saying. You need to resign from cabinet and sit as a backbencher so you can now speak. So that the public can hear when you can't speak.
Sounds good.
You can't speak there.
Sounds good.
And if you're a person of integrity and came there with an assignment or with a mission or whatever you call it, assignment is our church term, whatever the thing is, some kind of vision you had for this area.
Sounds very good.
Then you need to.
I just want us as pastors to do the same thing with the Christian Council.
I totally agree. I
want us to do the same thing because we could talk, but while we ran the cycle, let's do the same thing.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Because a lot of times we putting up with things that we ain't speaking of. But watch this. You know what's happening? We speaking to them.
What do you mean now? We speaking to them. What do you mean?
We may be saying certain things, suggesting certain things that may not follow through on. That ain't mean we ain't creative or we we ain't got no influence or we ain't doing our best, etc., etc. But you got to have buy-in.
You missed my part. The back end of what I said was that we should see the some manifestation of your passion in some area of your field of influence.
Of course. So are you suggesting we don't see that at all?
Yes,
at all.
In some persons, we are seeing no movement, no positive change.
Wait, my argument is not to suggest that this is the only issue. I am saying to you, in a lot of instances, this affects in a major way the level of productivity. I ain't saying this is the only issue. Some people we don't need to be there respectfully.
A lot of persons are
respectfully
jumping.
They don't need to be there.
A lot of persons are jumping on the bandwagon of, boy, you don't know the old boy system, and you gotta this, right. You gotta toe the party line, and you keep on hearing that, and people jump on that bandwagon. So that's why you don't know nothing. So you know what I mean now? So you can't do nothing. You can't affect no change. You can't put something in. My God, you can have your ministry run a little more organized.
I can tell you,
Bishop, I'll tell you the same thing I said. I think what I typed the other day. Some of them still surprised that they have gotten into position.
Very true. But I can tell you one thing, Dino. If Mauricio want to do something in this dance ministry in life, and Denczil and Antonio rolling into that, I promise you, my friend, she could be as creative as she want to be. The spirit ain't tell me that.
And guess what? And you know what happened? Y'all can start saying, by Denczil, I see him when Mauricio doing that thing there, but she jamming, boy.
With the smaller victories.
Exactly. And that will force me to look at what she's doing.
Right.
Because y'all can be like, boy, our youth ministry, this and that. But
that gonna force you, right?
Yeah.
Because of your interests and vision and passion.
Because of y'all showing me what I missed.
You gotta know how to work it. But that ain't always the case.
Because of her being effective.
That ain't always the case.
Her passion will force her to be effective.
That is dependent upon the kind of leader you have.
Well, they don't need to be in place then.
The leader don't need to.
What you saying, the leader? What you saying now?
Because Mauricio could be doing a good job and effective. And you still arrogantly say, I ain't supporting it. It depends on the kind of leadership climate.
If that's the case, now we have to question Mauricio's alignment. Mauricio's alignment, not a leader, the Mauricio's alignment.
Yeah, but I didn't go on into people and put me in. I trying to make a difference and trying to do what I could do. That is a bit different. I'm trying to tell you, with the leadership that's present, it's hard to get some things done. And I mean in any administration, it's hard to get some things done. Because that leader have to sign off on that.
What's up? Let me get
I can't call everybody in that dumb man ain't doing nothing. Blah, blah, blah. I can't. That ain't the reason.
But we definitely ain't saying everybody. We ain't saying none of that. But we just
a lot ain't going on.
Huh?
A lot ain't going on.
That's a bold statement to make.
Yeah,
I don't know how to quantify that.
You just y'all are something.
Listen to me.
I don't understand that. Y'all just tell me all these things with the country. We got any problem. Ain't nothing happening.
I told him
I say nothing happening. Don't say nothing happening.
Wow.
What I did.
I'm
say
not just
is
saying it.
The quality of personnel. Because you go and defend the personnel. I tell you the quality personnel. We got to me. We have a problem with quality. The quality is constantly going negative.
Okay, so the
quality.
And you telling
me the quality there.
The quality bad, but things getting done. So what is it?
Because there's a system in this country.
Remember that technocrats still run. Technocrats still do stuff.
But you got them PS and them in the ministries making things happen, etc.
Right.
So the point is, though,
and that's why status quo is being maintained.
Yeah, but
so I can't say
no. I don't mean from the perspective of nothing is going on. I mean from a creative, progressive perspective. In some instances, we are not seeing a whole lot of that in our country at this point. For a while, for a little while now.
You making me think. I start thinking.
For a little while. Like real groundbreaking.
Innovative. Yeah.
Man, you need to make up your mind. What side you want?
Listen to me. Listen to me. I never said I agree with you, I just helping you with a couple of words.
Because he done use a dumb down in the wrong context. So
I help you with a couple of words. You say innovative. I just throw in innovative.
You know, I might take them no more.
But listen to me. No, I agree. Over the years.
No. Help yourself, Dino. I help yourself. I got the Holy Ghost. Help yourself. And start. He's my paraclete. He come alongside and he helps. Oh, glory to God. I feel the Holy Ghost even at this moment.
Listen to him. He come alongside. come alongside. He's your come alongside. You feel somebody come along? He come along. He come along. And grab a hold with you.
I trying to give him a little vote of confidence, man. Like I know some of the people personally, and I know you could do more than this. I know what you're capable of, but we're not necessarily seeing that expressed. And in some cases, I don't know if we should call them lazy, or I just feel in a lot of cases they're dumbed down. My
question is, do they even have the leverage, not from leadership perspective, but from system perspective? There are some bureaucratic and stuff and red tape that they have to get that they can't get through, and that's another issue.
You agree with me?
No, that ain't leadership. It's
just dumbed down. So it's just dumbed down.
Dumbed down in the way.
Oh, well, not done. Well, whatever. Sometime up.
They're restricted.
In my mind, they are being made to look dumb down. I keep saying they are pairing to be as if they're incompetent or can't get the job done, etc., because that's the conclusion. Like you can't get the job done, but it's not that they can't.
Right.
It's all of these things.
It's a system.
So you agreeing with me?
Dumb down just in the way. We just said
that's my word. Now you understand the definition.
I got you now.
When you're doing a document, they say the meaning of this word. The definition of a term throughout this document will be this. So when you hear me use that terminology,
I got you. That's
we don't need that conflict no more.
I got you.
You got yourself.
I go back to the brilliant persons and whoever they are.
Sure.
Yeah.
And let me speak for. I've been adult for about 4 elections.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 years now. Been an adult. Yeah, to me, you're adult when you can vote. And I have not seen the earth-shattering, groundbreaking innovation and ingenuity that should come with this modern generation that I'm about.
I agree.
I have not seen that. And I'm talking about my 20 years of existence.
Sure.
Now, one of the things, and I can say this, and when I say this now, I just heard this weekend, I was F&M. I was labeled.
You just heard it this weekend?
It's official. I was labeled F&M.
Oh, so it's official.
Yeah, they made official F&M. So I guess I may lose that now when I say this right now.
Right.
Because to me, the progressive things that I saw, one was urban renewal.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was a progressive and a brilliant idea. Mm-hmm. That it was to me it was. There was ingenuity there, there was creativity there, and where it was going, it was like, wow, this thing is powerful.
Sure.
The next thing to me was Bamsey.
Right.
I think that was like, oh boy, this could change the game right here.
Sure.
And I'm not sure about this, but I think I remember hearing that Bamsey was supposed to eventually expand into more islands.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's true, but someone told me that Bamsey was not supposed to just only be on Andros.
Yeah.
That was supposed to have some other satellite locations.
Yeah.
And it may still be the vision. It may still be on the papers.
Sure.
To me, that's groundbreaking.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Since then. Yeah.
I'm still thinking. I thinking now about other things. That we can, 20 years now, if I can pull back a little more than 20 years, then I'll grab liberalizing the media.
Okay.
Groundbreaking.
Right.
Right? I can't give any government that tries to get credit for digitizing how we do government.
Right.
To me, they should be shaming themselves.
Sure.
That shouldn't be an announcement.
Right.
We're late in the game.
The world is digitizing, so I can't give no credit for that.
We're late in the game.
So I guess now PLB now, because two of them is PLB.
Hey.
I can't think about anything y'all got. I might have slipped something. That's the only two I have.
Well, I mean, we could go down the list, but I didn't the point.
Oh, there's a list?
I mean, if you want to do the digital currency, that's more game changing. But that's now.
But
it's a part of
that's why I ain't catch yet. Good.
That's
why I catch it.
No, it's in the beginning of.
I can't give you that because that's why I ain't catch. If I ain't catch, because we still don't understand Bitcoin. Then we understand all that stuff.
No, that's different from Bitcoin.
See that exactly? You see my point?
See, I know.
We know. That's exactly my point. We know.
Yeah. That's
So-
different than Bitcoin. But I don't know. I agree with you.
You see what I'm saying? So there was this. That to me, another big deal was the whole. Oh God, this PLP again was the whole revitalization of downtown. Of creating this new mecca concept, this thing. To me, that would have been a big. That's a big deal. It's still starting happening now, but now maybe before the PLP. But I knew hearing about it from the PLP. I didn't hear about it prior to that.
So we know there are creative ideas in the country. They are, because these things have got to come out of the minds of somebody in the country.
But my point is that I scrapped to find 3 things in 20 years. That's my point. My problem is that speaks.
No. So the point I'm making though is they are these ideas. There may be more of them available. That's all they got to maybe. And I'm sure we are very bright. Use them, and I'm sure you have very brilliant ideas that you think could move the country forward.
I got a word I'm preach.
Someone also said NHI as well on the comments.
I had NHI in my mind.
NHI, I think that it was a brilliant idea, man.
I had NHI in my mind, from a conceptual place.
Yes, from a conceptual
place. I didn't put it there because there's a lot of guts that go with it, and that I still didn't hear the guts yet.
Yeah. Conceptually, it's still.
It seemed like it was done honestly as almost like to put this under my cap, but I didn't. I don't feel
unless it is
conceptually though. From that
conceptually, definitely as a concept, 1,000,000,000%. But I don't know how much it was done from that passion place. Let me see some comments here. We have Marisha say, "See, you still get degrees."
Shut up.
What about these though?
Let's pass.
Silent gives consent. Atmosphere shifter. I don't know what that one's for. Atmosphere shifter. Donnie, you late, Donnie. Good afternoon, girlfriend.
Good afternoon.
How I get this? I was at a family barbecue. Tabitha says, "Truth, Pastor Monica, that was David with Saul."
Right.
You saying comment? Say side.
You reading the comments.
No, I won't comment on that, but that's David and Saul. So what Rickeno was talking about. She said they conformed rather than being dumbed down. They conformed. Tabitha says NHI. Yeah. Now I do remember there was a particular cabinet minister in the former administration that I spoke to, and he showed me this document that he had produced, and he explained exactly what you said,
right,
about being told, "Nope, ain't that happening." They're like, "Nah, bro. All right, this is good job, man. Good. All right, next." And they move right along. He said he's being pushed in.
Let's look at the pandemic. You remember they asked and say, we want people to give ideas to how to deal with. How much of them you see was
Float to the top?
I don't know how much was. Seriously, I don't know.
No, they said a good list came.
But what they say now, the thing about this now, we need people to speak up, right? Because what they said is that they got ideas and they took them. That's what they said.
Yeah, they took them.
Now, whether we don't know whether they use it, what they use now.
They took them and they segmented them into, because some of them were just repeats. So they got like 300 something. They got a good much. They just segmented them into all the, I guess, like ones, and then they started using some of them. But
they did use them.
They put them in place. Yeah, I mean they
did use them.
They presented the report. They presented the report.
That's what we're talking about now.
Right. They
didn't get beyond that point.
But I think the
implementation.
The persons that proposed them got to tell us whether they got to put in place. So we don't know.
Another thing.
Yeah, we don't know what they are.
That's another thing.
So
I
we
think
don't
the
know.
thing is we have to also look at the system and the way that how these bright ideas are able to go through the system, and it also speaks to the transparency and the accountability and all of that. So all of this is a part of what we're doing. And until we speak to that part of the system, we'll always be on this merry-go-round with these innovative ideas. And persons don't want to give ideas because they fear it'll be stolen or it'll be used for another thing. So you give her an idea. And so some people are holding tight to their ideas because they figured last time I did this, someone stole this idea and presented it as their own.
But I'm patriotic though.
But that's the reality though.
It is a reality,
Yeah.
but I think we have to get past that point, though.
You know what
So you mean
The success of
you
the
mean to the place of don't matter who put it forward.
Yeah,
once
yeah.
it gets
I
forward.
mean, I would like to get credit.
Yeah,
That's just
of course,
natural,
of course.
right? As a human being.
Of course.
But I'm saying at the end of the day, though, if you think this can really help the country, it benefits you still.
Yeah. Do you think we have as many nationalists today as we did?
No, boy, that's dying.
that's right.
Self-interest is
That's
the-
right next.
With my
to-
generation, 7 out of 10 of them waiting for that first opportunity to leave this rock.
But let me say,
whole lot.
let me say another thing though. I am, and this is not this, and this is even in a rebut to Rickeno's point. But I want to speak to a lot of bright ideas out there because a lot of bright ideas are not well thought of. They're literally just bright ideas. They're not plans.
I agree, but
A lot of the ideas that you will find, and I've seen this in my sphere in the technical area,
Yeah.
that you will find that this came actually this came to the shelf before. The problem is it was never developed, and a lot of the things that are bright ideas that persons have, and I'm not saying this across the board. I just want to put this in the conversation that we don't think about our context.
Yeah.
We don't think about, can I pull this and apply this here?
Correct.
And we don't do the tweaking necessary to make it work. I just want, and that's why when you mentioned about these people who can give advice, whatever the case is, I think we need those people to get in the system to find out how the system actually works. Like we need more people in the system with ideas. That's the point I'm making. People who in the system with ideas, because a lot of us when we get in, like even
I
someone.
think a lot of people in the system have ideas, but he talked about the bureaucracy and the red tape. I mean, when I hear some of the stories, it'll kill your flame.
But even in agreement with that, I've worked.
Are you in agreement these days?
Listen to me. I agree with what I agree with.
Yes, boss.
The thing is that I've seen it where, like you say, persons in ivory towers making decisions don't know what in the world going on the ground.
Sure.
And I've worked in institutions on both sides of it, whereas I've worked in the ivory tower and I've worked on the ground. And a lot of times what can help the ground to move, those in ivory tower have no idea. They make legislation, make laws, make rules, make marching orders, and it doesn't work on the ground. And until we get that syncopation with those ideas, it'll be a problem. And so we have to now push our people, Bishop, to now become involved in the process. Because a lot of us, we stay on the other side, or we just say what we got to say across the mics and call in the radio shows, but you don't have persons who are actually going ahead and either running for government or becoming a civil servant because they don't. First of all, they ain't being paid, and that is definitely an important factor to consider. But you don't have persons wanting to get their feet on the ground and get in the process and change the thing. And until that happens, like I think we preached on Saturday past, placards ain't working no more. It might have worked in the 60s. Placards. Yeah, working no more. You have to get our people in the system, get them trained, run them in the parliament, and then get them to change laws and stuff.
Who's
Christians,
Oh,
church,
okay.
the church people.
Okay.
Church
people in a whole lot of church people in there.
Pardon?
A whole lot of church
Okay,
people.
let's kingdom people. Let me put it like
There
that.
you go.
Kingdom people. Let me rephrase that. Kingdom people.
Yes.
Let me get when you, and we
I
have
can
to
promise
we
you,
have to
there
now
are a lot of them on the planet.
we have to now get back to the thought of Joseph. We have to get back to the thought
There's a lot of people who believe
Daniel.
their kingdom. Yeah, a lot of kingdom going on.
That is true.
Yeah.
And we have to now have to kind of reach over and get in the system and change it. And otherwise, we'll always have 20 and 30 more years. of
Okay,
this.
how do we do that? Because we always preach that, talk
run
about
for
that.
parliament?
Let me make this point. Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at this word before I use it. I don't use words wrong. Y'all smart. And
Because you don't criticize me with dumb down.
I can stay with that.
I
It
will
was
come
coming.
for you.
It was coming.
You know,
I know.
Google is a better friend to me than you.
I go on Facebook. I say I had a dog this way for using dumb now wrong.
Marisha, I
can
agree.
dig up
I
my
totally
word.
agree.
I
PR
can-
is the problem.
I can dig up.
What was that?
I can dig up my point. So I went to look up this word before I use it. The same word here. This may not be a representative sample of what the whole is. So my little microcosm called the Highway Church of God.
Right.
I hear the same conversation that I hear nationally. I heard that for 30 years.
What's that?
this old boy system, good old boy system, and all the limits that are there, and you can't excel, you can't progress. They head hard, they this, they that, the other. And I heard that. I'm 43 years old and being superintendent now for the last 2 years.
Right.
I don't buy in to all that complaining on the outside. I really don't buy in. I may not be a representative sample, I may be a bad sample, but just because of what I have seen in my little operation, I know I just got some little, y'all people think it's a little tuck shop. No problem, that's fine. Our little small little operation. I have seen that if you are passionate and if you believe that change can happen, you can cause change to happen.
Yes, sir. I agree.
So, given the blight to the brilliant minds and the innovative ones who say they keep on hitting the wall, I can't keep on doing that. This nation was founded upon people who say, you know what, I can get through this wall. That's how you make changes. So if you are truly passionate, you got to keep on punching that wall. There always this case about the leaking fire hydrant. There's always that story, and it is true. That's not a makeup. It's a case where a fire hydrant had a slow leak, but it keep on beating that concrete, and every time it hit that concrete, it weakened the concrete, and before you know it, that thing gave way and burst at the ground. Keep on hitting at it, man.
I can tell you this, bro. A lot of brilliant minds are brilliantly helping themselves.
Bing.
So, yeah, I don't know if it's all their fault.
Oh,
because
Lord, now you still getting the back door.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, bro, if I could help, I know if I won't be fighting and you don't make the country hard for me to live in and survive in. And I here trying to survive.
My story is that somebody had the same testimony about you. Because you were your brilliant self. You did that, not you, Rickeno. Right. But that same brilliant person, someone can say, but I was working under you and your mind closed too. So don't try to like use some special case in this scenario.
All I saying is
this scenario is everywhere.
All I saying is
and
I could help you. You refuse my help, I just help myself. And in a lot of instances, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying in a lot of instances, that's what's happening. Because like we talk about that spirit of patriotism, in a lot of ways, that is diminished. So whereas our forefathers would say, we fighting for this and we gonna do whatever we have to do, that ain't there no more. I just feel
my thing is then people stop talking, don't call the talk show then. Don't talk about our nation this. Because we ain't fit.
Yeah, they fit.
No.
Yeah, they fit.
Because he was truly passionate, you wouldn't have gone this way just taking care of yourself.
Well, the people who's calling, they sound like they're very passionate. From someone I hear. All right. But all I'm saying is a lot of those brilliant people, their minds are elsewhere. And like Dino said, a lot of them, especially in millennials, they won't get off this island. They won't go. I'm not saying it's right because I discourage it. All right. But at the end of the day, when I could help, and I keep trying to help, and I got to deal with all this, even just in the public service system, I see a lot of young people going and they talk about what their experience is. Even though there's a way around it, some people are asking, does it have to be so difficult? It's frustrating.
I think a lot of our people we didn't get so caught up in that grass is green over there. Because the same shallow-mindedness.
Yes, it exists. Yes.
It's just as strong over there.
Nature.
It's just so happened.
But perception is a major thing, buddy.
It just so happened that where we have 400,000 people, they have 40 million.
Right.
So what it means is that the pocket of the brilliance is a bigger pocket.
Yes.
So you get in there. We have the same pockets here.
Right.
Of innovation, of ingenuity and brilliance.
Right.
But the problem is we know everybody. We a small community.
But let's be a little real, man, Bishop. Our system is a bit different. Like in the Republican system, where the Senate and Congress got to be signing off on certain things, even the president won't do. The system of a level of accountability to it that makes for almost a better climate. I say they got their issues.
See, we live in the Bahamas and we look at federal operations in the United States.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get to live in that county and in that city and in that state, you realize, well, we're back in Nassau.
I got you. The same smaller context.
Yeah.
I got you.
You get the same context going on in many instances. Yeah. Yes, because we're on the outside. So what we're doing, we're looking at the US of A.
Sure.
And we see this fine oil machine.
Right.
That
and that's what it is, though. Perception.
That Trump called a swamp.
It is perception.
And Trump called backward.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But when you go in, and I worked the department I worked in when I was off to school and dealing with these little townships and these other cities and stuff like that, I feel like you're in Crooked Island. And no one's on the Crooked Island. You know, I've had the kind of issues and the kind of stuff that's going on. I said, oh wow, this America too. This is a party you don't see on CNN.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, but you know, there's a lot more advancement, and it is an older nation, so of course they have accomplished it more. And so for the person who's struggling and frustrated and trying to get out now and make life happen now, and you're looking around and you can't, they feel like that's a better way to go. Canada is the main option for a lot of people right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I could help, but does helping have to be so complicated?
So then it's at this case, whereas then we have persons, because those who are in parliament, like I'm going to use Bishop's word, are a microcosm of the whole of the Bahamas. If we don't like what we see over there, it's only reflective of what we want to see.
Say it again.
It's only reflective.
If we don't like
there. If we don't, that was two different thoughts. If we don't like what we see there, we are responsible to change it. Parliament.
Okay. Yeah.
And those who make the laws, those who essentially set up the system, we have to now change them. It's now on us. Now, granted, we have this chance every 5 years, but now that we have a chance to do it again,
but when
we
you
can
have
do it
most
right.
people trying to survive and survival mentality, they don't sit down thinking, boy, I gotta make sure because that could select a quality. Man, you show me one $20.
Again, it's the demand that we put on them.
You want to handle my point.
I hear you.
When I barely can make it, nah, I'm suffering. My level of thinking can't rise that high because I have these starving children and all that kind of stuff. So the climate is as such that these people who would probably in other circumstances make decisions like that and hold people accountable,
right?
They're so easy to persuade, manipulate, and take advantage of because of their circumstance that we have the same situation going on. We just need, let me not go to the solution. That's just the problem.
One of the things we have to do, let me go to the solution. One of the things we have to do is we have to raise the tide.
Okay.
The tide too low.
Yeah.
In terms
of
our
thinking, our capacity, our intellectualism as a nation, we need to raise the tide. And we have to do it. I tell a story several times a year on this show. One of my better friends and business partner is a member of New Covenant Baptist Church. Grew up at the feet of Simeon Hall, Bishop Simeon Hall. And I hear this brother's conversation. And I like, boy, Bishop Hall, you did an amazing job. Just the level, his vocabulary. When I know this fella didn't finish high school, had a lot of things in his background, a lot of shady things happened in his background growing up as a child. But I listen to this man talk now and I'd be like, that's Simeon Hall did that. That's the only person that did it. And you hear in Simeon Hall language, this is commensurate with this, and this is not concomitant, and this is extemporaneous words that I had to go dig up when he used them on me. Yeah. To me, Simeon Hall is a tide raiser. He raised the level of the tide. He caused the tide to go up.
And they are, you remember now, that's the same basically the same generation we've been talking about.
Yes.
It's after them, like you gotta start asking.
We need more of, I think we in a critical position as pastors, we gotta raise the tide. I have a pastor that I was jumping on him like, boy, don't do that. Don't say that to me. Boy, I gotta dumb myself down because people are speaking to you not smart. I said, you shouldn't be pastoring.
And see what they need to do is speak a language they understand to connect them. But then you don't stop there. Because I can't go using big words they don't understand. But you could, to win them, you come down to their level, but your job is to bring them up to where you are. Now, if you go there and stay there, you ain't leading. They leading.
Your job is to elevate them, man.
Yes, you lead.
Elevate them.
Agreed.
You find them, and you know what? My dealings with persons, I don't know how it's been for you, Pastor Rickeno. You just started pastoring now, so you'll tell in a little while. My persons from the street and from the hood,
right?
They like intellectual conversation.
Yes.
They like, you think they want to just talk ghetto and talk street?
No.
My persons from the street, they want you to challenge their mind. And you'd be surprised. Sometimes you think that they can't process. You'd be surprised to know how much they want to be challenged and stimulated.
Everybody want a sense of pride.
Yeah, that's good.
Everybody want that.
That's good.
And that's who people follow for leadership, who make them feel better about themselves.
That's really good. Yeah.
So they don't care if you could preach good, all these different things. That's you shining.
Yeah.
But if you could make me so when I live life and I could go talk with these engineering things and all kind of stuff, I probably feel like my boys around me.
That's good.
Hey, y'all need to come to church.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because this I get.
Nice, smart.
I smart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I now feel I could take on one of my guys from the street. The pandemic, Adonis let him go. He won't go back. He feel he bigger than that.
Wow.
He ain't interested in that. He say, my mentality didn't change. I have a different perspective. I won't go back. That's what leadership does. That's why we go back to everything rises and falls
All
on.
leadership.
That's what I believe. And that's what made Sir Lyndon Pindlin such a phenomenal leader, in my opinion. He was inspirational.
Yeah.
He showed you what you could be. And it wasn't just about projects.
Right.
It was about who we are and what we could be as a people and a nation. That's the kind of conversation we need.
Yeah.
Not situational responses all the time.
And
Yeah,
the thing is,
A
too,
vision,
yeah,
a dream. You was in the meeting I was in with a political leader.
Yeah.
And my question to them was,
Yeah.
what is your dream for the Bahamas?
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to hear. When you talk, I want to see you raise your eye to the sky. I dream of a Bahamas where
Agreed.
this and where the children and where families, and that's what I want to hear. Before you start telling me you can do BAMS, you can do urban renewal, you can do all this everything, I want to hear that dream first. Because that inspires me now to even support and help you
Right.
do all the projects you want to do.
and the truth is that dream actually gives legs to those BAMSI and NHI
Yes,
and all those kind
yes.
of stuff. And we have lost the people who are dreamers.
Yes.
We have lost the people who actually aspire to something higher
Yes.
than where they are right now.
Yes.
And again, like you said, it's now upon leadership
Right.
in every sphere of society
Right.
to kind of build this dream of a better Bahamas, or dream of what the Bahamas is supposed to be.
Right.
And that is what because I listen to some of these, I see some of these political ads that are coming out. Just because you are from a certain area, don't mean you have to use certain music
Sure,
to kind of
sure,
pull those people in.
sure.
That more or
That's
less
what Nancy was talking about.
that
now.
slaps in the face. That slaps the face of the people who in that community.
Right.
Because what you're trying to say is now then that I met you here, I'm leaving you here. This is all you into. And if I was in a constituency, I would not vote for you, even if I support the party. Why? Because you're trying to tell me now this is all you see me as. And we have to now get our
It's really
people to a place where they see themselves. The Bible says that the children of Israel, when they're crossing over, 10 of the 12 spies says, we can't go in the land because the giants see them. The giants see us as them. And so they said, we can't do this. Their mindset and their perception of what the giants were able or not able to do were based on how they saw themselves.
Right.
We have to change how our people from the smaller level to the high level see ourselves. And we must put a demand on those who are in leadership to do better in every sector of society. Because just like us with preaching, if they don't pull on the anointing, we only go on a certain level.
You know something? That's very good. You know something? It's always though a question of what we need to ask ourselves. We need to be real, because preachers could be arrogant and delusional.
Of course.
We need to ask ourselves, who has the influence?
Yeah.
Because whoever has it is who is determining the current culture that we are in.
Exactly.
And we don't like to accept maybe political figures of it, or the number boys of it, or who are people really listening to?
Right now, they are not listening to political leaders on any part of the
Sure,
divide.
sure.
They have it's so bad that anything the government says today,
Right.
everybody second guesses
right,
it.
sure,
So
sure. The
they've
trust
lost,
is not there.
they've
Definitely.
lost every confidence, even if
Definitely.
the government comes with and that's why we need
So
to
the
raise up
question then is,
grassroots people to
I know
to
about
give.
all that.
No,
but
when I say grassroots, I'm not talking about anybody out of the street. I'm
All
talking
right.
about those who are on a level to influence those around them. We have
So
to develop
who-
those kind of
who has
leaders.
the influence is what we need to ask. If the political leaders don't have it, I ain't sure preachers of it.
Look at the pandemic. Who was given? Who was in the forefront? Now we were doing what we had to do in our sectors, but who the country is looking at a major level are the numbers boys. That's who has the influence, and some aspects of
Why
the
you
media.
turning up your mouth, Denczil?
No, I'm processing it because you asked a very heavy question.
Yeah.
Who has the influence?
influence?
And I think this generation that we're developing now in nobody.
I was wondering about that too.
That's why I turned my mind up.
Because
I
even
know that-
when I talk to them, they just listen to themselves.
now you that's where
They don't have to be making
Bruh,
no sense.
that was my answer to you. That's why my mouth was turned up. My mouth was like, ain't no number boy, ain't no rev by listed to me.
Me.
Right.
and how I feel.
Right.
And there was you smarter than me. There was a time back some hundreds of years ago when that movement, that identity of self came out.
Right.
And it was about me. I was my
Yes.
own. I was my
Yes.
own
I
God.
am. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that this
I
is
am.
this. We come for a second now. This
One
was
second.
400, 500 years ago.
Right.
This awakening to self.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's me. But yeah, who influencing me? Me.
Ain't going on.
I can
Nobody.
tell you when I listen to the Rev.
Right.
You know, I can listen to the Rev today.
Right.
You know? No, I tell you, I listen to the Rev today.
And it's based on what you preaching, because
Yeah,
if
that
they
is
like
true.
that, they into that.
It's
That is
me.
You said, but they into that. And that's the reality.
That is true.
The tide has dropped. We got to figure. And we still have a consistency in the church.
Yes.
And I believe some of our
Yes.
counterparts are delusional
Yes.
to how big this consistency is.
Yes.
It's losing
They
a
are.
lot of ground.
Yes,
Oh, definitely.
Because who you see don't mean you have influence over them.
Oh,
Because they're in church fact checking you.
yeah, okay. So this power and influence that some believe that the
Right.
church has, I
Right.
believe they're delusional. But we when I say no, we do have power, but the number of persons.
Yes. Yes.
But I still think we have a great responsibility to
We do.
raise the tide when it comes to patriotism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, but this is no order, because first is identity,
Right.
knowing who you are. You never know who you are until you know who God is.
Sure.
That idea of identity, and I think that level of intellectualism, man.
I agree with you. I totally agree with
I
you.
am struggling. I tell you that thing last night watching the Ed Battle. I sit down and watch. It's like,
Yeah. You missed that.
I miss
Yes.
It's refreshing
My eyes
now.
go-
It is
Yeah,
refreshing.
even after Ed Bethel, you had the Debbie Bartless and all those stuff. Who had that
it
early
just
90s
sounds
era.
like, oh God, it's too late now. It's like you could tell. Like, number one, you could tell they read.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, like I read, like they read more than just reading what they wrote. They
Yes,
read.
yes.
Right.
So there's this
Yes.
there's this fluency with
Right.
they spoke.
Right.
I mean, some of the persons that we call in the top media people in the country today, I know they just read enough.
It's become sensationalist.
Yeah.
And so, but that too is the demand that is placed on them by the consensus. That's all the people want. That's all what a lot of persons want. A lot of persons want to know what's the hottest news, what's the hottest gossip, and that's where they are drawing to.
Which isn't leadership. Anytime I hear people say things, even like with church, my people ain't into that no more. In some cases, I appreciate it, but in other cases, I'm like, boy, that could be our problem right now.
That's what I'm saying. The problem is,
Allowing people to
Yes.
lead the leader.
yes,
You ain't no leader. Because you pandering when it's
whatever
your
it said.
job to bring people to a place.
yeah.
But tied low.
Very low. And then died low from the leadership end.
Yeah.
Lolo,
That's this
Like-
this
dry.
We in a crisis. And the problem is with culture, when most people move in a certain direction, some people don't even think. They just conclude it's gotta be right. Most people doing it.
and let me say this, brethren. When you remember those speeches and other persons that spoke back in 30 years ago, you thought all of them was lawyers, and I got blown if I don't know they weren't all lawyers.
Right.
But there's a level
yes.
of brilliance.
Talk with taxi drivers.
There's a
They
Come on, man.
They brilliant mind.
Bro.
They thinkers.
bro. I remember back in 2001 when I sat in my first meeting of the Highway Church of God business session.
Right.
I thought I was in the House of Assembly.
Yes.
I say, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
On a point of order, Mr. Chairman. I say, point
Point
of
of
order.
order. In
Oh, you
church.
don't know about that.
I rise on a point of order.
In church.
Listen, I grew up under Charles Sanders. Robert's rules. Robert's rules.
On the desk, these brothers
Roger.
running with Roberts. One fella said, Mr. Chairman, ain't no bishops in here now. It's
Right.
only Mr. Chairman.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Chairman,
exactly, right.
I'm based with the protocols of Robert's Rule of Order. That motion was something that should not be moved, and so that need to be stricken from the record. I said, what are we talking about here? I wouldn't most open my mouth. I was in that
Exactly,
session
trying
and
to
I
learn
sit
something.
down
Yeah.
quiet. But these are brethren who
Yep.
taxi drivers and farmers
Definitely.
who never gone beyond sixth grade education.
Sure.
And there was a level of training that church, because when I was in the Bahamas Baptist Union under Dr. Sanders,
Yeah.
and it still goes on to this day. But once you held a seat as an officer, you had to you couldn't just get up and say, I want to do this, I want to do it. You had to know how to go ahead and accept minutes. You had to know how to go ahead and do the whole part of setting out an agenda. And no matter what level, whether junior level or senior level, you had to have an agenda that followed a certain protocol.
Yeah.
And that is what was expected, because that was the standard that was set. Like you said, they raised the tide.
When I became regional director of Youth for Full Gospel,
Yeah.
that was the most intimidating experience of my life. Neil Ellis was no joke.
Oh,
my friend.
definitely.
Right.
And you sitting around with Neil Ellis, sitting around with Bishop Bennett B. Davis, Elkin Simmons, and all these senior boys who come into this Baptist environment and know all the. I have to now, as the new guy, present my plan. And
Right.
what I have to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro, that thing was scrutinized. I came in because I was a preacher around a lot to youth stuff.
Yeah.
So this the youth preacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, the
Okay.
way they
Yay.
scrutinize me,
Yeah.
I walk out there.
You don't preach in here.
I walk out there feeling this way.
Yeah. We ain't want no texting here.
I come in
We
there,
ain't no
my head
texting.
big like this.
Right.
You walking there.
This brother Rickeno Manka. Buddy, I walk out there feeling this.
Mr. Superintendent, I so moved that la 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 la. If it may be accepted, or if it may obtain a second.
Bruh,
Boy, listen.
That's what it is.
They-
bruh.
And
I
in
am-
those days when Dr. Sanders say he declined, y'all think who you was to get up and
Your
say,
feelings didn't matter to them.
One
Your
time
feelings
Who you
didn't
was?
matter.
I was something I presented. I was secretary then, and I was young secretary
Right.
in Harry District Court, and I presented something. And then someone said, "Sound like there needs to be a committee." I said, "Okay, yeah." I said, "Yeah." So we can have brother so and so. Say, point
no,
on.
no, you don't have committee right now.
What you doing? Oh, you trying to name your committee on
Right,
the
right,
floor like
right,
this?
Right,
know, sir.
right.
No,
Like up at the end of convention.
No, you can't name. How you could? But number one, who make you think you can name
Thank
committee?
you. Thank you.
No, there's a protocol for
Yes,
establishing
sir.
a committee.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
You don't just get him over. You
Thank you.
What you need to
yeah.
say?
Thank you.
He's a tuck shop.
Buddy, listen.
There's that.
And so the church was like, it was always in high mass
Yes.
because of the operation of what
Yes.
church was. Every Sunday was like high mass. Every event like high mass because of the planning, the scrutiny, the level of accountability, everything that went into doing anything in the name of church in those contexts.
And I think too, a lot of our desire to be relevant has lost that
Yes.
respect that we've
Good
had
point.
for order.
Good point.
And so over the years,
Good point.
we have had generations successively who would try to get away from order, but in their trying to get away from order, they've lost any sense of setting a standard.
Sure.
And that's the problem that we are now facing. That our generation didn't raise ourselves, but those who were
Our
before
generation
us
what?
didn't raise ourselves.
Yes, we did.
We didn't raise ourselves.
Me and you didn't.
Well, with that our generation,
You bring
the
another,
generation
you bring
after us.
another part of the conversation down. It's very powerful.
Me and you didn't.
No, but the thing is,
Some of them, a whole lot of them did.
so where was the ball dropped between the Ed Bethel generation, going down to
And you guys, that's what right there. Between those in their mid 30s, early 40s, and those who are now in
So
their
you guys,
70s,
us.
that bridge.
yeah.
There's supposed to be a bridge.
Yeah.
Number one, there should have been a bridge between Denczil and Longford.
Right. Right.
So there should have been
Right.
Right.
correct.
And in that middle ground is where somewhere in there,
Right.
that's
what I
generation is
meant.
40 years, but I think we're in that 20 year in the middle
Yeah.
gap.
Yeah.
I think that's where we got thin. Somehow we got thin in there. I don't know if those people were just enjoying the ride and didn't pay attention.
This has always been my conclusion.
Go for it.
Especially from a parental perspective.
Go for it.
Those older guys set such a strong foundation, et cetera. That next generation, all they had available to them was opportunities. They went after those opportunities and self-interest took precedence over being a good parent, et cetera. They became too busy to pour into their children what was poured into them. So in some cases, nannies was growing up children, television was growing up children, et cetera, et cetera. They were distracted by, I have this opportunity now to prosper, to succeed. I better capitalize. And they say they're doing this for their children, and I believe they were. But doing that took away from the time they needed to spend pouring into training, teaching, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. So like you said, succession planning as well has been an issue where the ball was dropped as well.
Yes.
Because a number of these great men who we looked up to, interestingly, those that generation didn't really have mentees as such. They just say ride along with me, but they never engage these mentees to kind of develop
But
and train
did
them.
they have that kind of? Let me
Agreed.
ask you this: did they have that kind of? Okay, come here. I can pour into you. I can be you.
Right.
Because a lot of things I
So
caught.
again, it's a hunger, right?
A lot of
It's
things
the
I
hunger
caught.
of
It
the
was.
person.
I'm telling
as
you,
well.
a lot of things I caught, and I'm saying this to say that I don't know if it's them who didn't do. I don't know if succession planning was that big of a deal, but I mean, people used to rise to the occasion because there was such an inspiration in the leader that
Agreed.
people wanted to be the next person.
Agreed.
And you had a bunch of people fighting for that. The Joshua generation is the generation, I believe, who dropped the ball in there. And I call that the Joshua generation because they were so busy possessing the land till now we're looking for the next Joshua. And Joshua got nobody. And Joshua didn't do for him, for the next Joshua, what Moses did for him. They were busy possessing land.
I spoke about this at the service, a service some time back, that we have to question the success of Elisha.
Got you.
Because the mantle that was on Elisha ended up going to a dead body.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
While it was on Elijah, was passed on to Elisha.
Yes.
So we have to question that. And I don't want to take that too far. But I think we got to look at it.
Because it was the directive by God to Elijah, but
Yeah.
also the hunger of Elisha.
Yeah.
Got you.
So it goes both ways. And I say this to Pastor Rickeno often, that he's one of the outliers. That I don't know if I'm kind of, but I'm not one of those who, to the extent that he is, will pull as a son from that person to be fathered. Like you pull that tenacity, that drive to go get it. I don't think that's everybody. I think persons like yourself
I think you have to
are
think
a
about-
rarity.
No, I don't know if it's just a rarity or that's a circumstance. Because my circumstance in life made me have to try to survive.
Okay.
So it pushed me toward certain things.
I think a lot of those who are not like you are getting beat with a stick, where I think they could be fathered, but they just need to know they need to be fathered. They don't even know that
when
they.
you have daddy and mommy home and all these different things, blah blah blah. You ain't man.
Yeah. So they would need someone to identify and to say, you know what, come.
Sure.
You didn't need Elijah to lay a mantle on you.
Mm-hmm.
You had this hunger that you got with your salvation, so you really didn't need that. You was gonna find Elijah. He had to come look for you.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I think there are another, and I think a great majority of persons who don't have that kind of drive. It needs to be cultivated in them.
Right.
Yeah, Jesus had to say, "Okay, come here, guys."
Exactly. The Jesus
think
example
this
was
is
not,
okay. Right.
and don't forget Peter said to Jesus right before that, man, go from me.
Go for you as a sinner, right?
As a sinner, man, I don't use me for this. I ain't there. So I think it goes there. But I wanted to, as we get ready to close, because I got prayer in house, you got prayer in house.
But we don't see where Moses told Joshua, "Come follow me."
No.
All right. I ain't say it didn't happen. Maybe it didn't text us and tell us because they don't
Right.
give us every detail.
Right.
But I think there was, for me, if you want to be better, Denczil, anybody can tell you, come be better.
Right.
I don't know if the disciples would have seen Jesus and said, boy, I could go be better following him. I think because of it, they feel like maybe I would never qualify, so he had to come to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about people who have that complex of saying, I don't know if I could qualify. I think a lot of people feel like they done there.
They're ready better.
I don't need you.
I am.
And I think, like, I was talking about this yesterday, the kingdom message has messed up a lot of people. Because when you don't tell people, man, you is this, you is that, you got this, blah, 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 they feel, man, I said
The unbalanced
it unbalanced
kingdom message.
kingdom message.
Because I spoke about this on Friday night. This kingdom message that void the Holy Ghost. That's what happened. The kingdom message need to begin with the Holy Ghost.
You have to begin with that.
But we been preaching kingdom void of Holy Ghost.
Exactly.
And now we have people void of Holy Ghost.
Right.
But
But they're trying to exercise dominion,
Who
though.
try to exercise dominion. That's the problem.
without Holy Ghost.
Without Holy Ghost. It was never intended to work that way. Even Adam, he made sure he gave him of himself before he tell him not to go have dominion.
Sure.
And we created a model that the emphasis is not on the Holy Ghost. is on a mindset. That's a problem right there. When you elevate the mind above the spirit of the individual. So now this is a mind, this is a thinking, this is a way you do business, this is the way you function.
Right.
So now we have.
So everybody just going after this. Like, for instance, the Dr. Miles
This
case,
facade.
he write books. He was flying across. So everybody getting after that. I got to write a book. I got to do this. Or not knowing Dr. Miles is a strong man of prayer.
Yep.
Spending time with God.
Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff is by revelation
Correct.
for him.
Correct.
And now you just taking what was revelation for him, just saying you can just emulate that. And they life all on mess and limbo, et cetera, because they didn't really, and it wasn't that he didn't teach prayer.
Yeah.
He taught the tools that would get, but that ain't the things I hear people talking about most.
No, and those of us who had the occasion to visit BFM back in the days of Miles Monroe, Mark Bethel do pretty much for hour and a half.
Man, come on.
Hour and a half praise worship.
Easy.
Like ain't nobody business.
Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
Hour and a half of praise
And so
worship.
nobody looking at it and saying, boy, this have to be intentional. This man talking all this kingdom, but flying around the world, doing this, everything, blah, blah, blah. But this man being here doing praise and worship for an hour and a half. That have to be an element of why he does all he does.
But those thoughts were not connected.
They were not.
How often do we have those conversations?
Very much so. We don't hear that. We don't hear those stuff. We only hear about these results.
But that, let me stop.
No dog.
No
dog. I listen.
I said when I turn the mic off. 'Cause it can get a little touchy.
Yeah,
Got you.
It's a sensitive matter.
It can get very touchy.
Got you.
And I receiving the word. Y'all talking, I getting the word, and you getting the word too. And you want the 9, you get a word too.
Thank you.
You're on the 9 Saturday. We can't, as we get deeper in this thing, that we leave off that part that got us there.
Got you.
Can't leave that part off. I've been told my church would grow a whole lot faster if we cut our time down.
Right.
I've had apostles call me that, and bishops told me that. So, man, Denczil, use a little more wisdom, man.
Right.
You're using no wisdom.
Right.
Your worship too long, your prayer time too long, that too long.
Right.
I said, the Lord bless y'all.
Yeah.
But Jesus spent more time in prayer than he did in ministry.
Oh.
And I think, and I got that one from Pastor Miles.
And then when a person coming to tell me cut my time down, right? There's a person who, when they start their church and was laying foundation to get to where they are now, had millions of hours doing it. They don't train us young guys. They want us start where they end. Right?
Okay.
Right.
Without laying the foundation they laid
to
to raise up what they have risen up. So we came in on the back end with all these results and go write book and all that kind of stuff. No, I want to hear about the time you used to be in prayer, the time you took with your team, all these things you did to build this. Don't come giving me these fancy ideas now.
Right.
And a lot of our younger guys looking at what these guys are doing now.
Yes.
But they're not the things that make them what they are. They could go 45 minutes worship because they didn't lay such a strong foundation years ago that their people could flow in that dimension.
Yeah.
And if you don't hear from the Holy Ghost for what you're doing, you go right there following their nice fancy
45
ideas.
And get in trouble.
And get in trouble. Because, you got to be very careful and know what works for you.
And it goes right back to what Bishop said, identity.
Because the old prophet tell the young prophet, come eat with me.
Right.
But God tell the old young prophet, go give the word, go straight back home. The old prophet come there, tell the young prophet, no man.
And who got killed?
And who got killed. And that, I believe a lot of that's what we see in the day. You listen to the old prophet and say, listen to God.
Yeah.
And that does not mean I don't honor him.
Right.
But I know what I heard God say.
I am, but this thought, the Great Commission was amazing that it didn't say disciple individuals, it said disciple nations.
Right.
And we need to reassess that mandate that we've been given, to think about what is our role in the, I go back to that idea, the tide being so low. How is the church partnered with that? How are we culpable in what's happening? I think we have to. I mean, the whole 2 Chronicles 7 thing that you dealt with over the pandemic at length, it speaks to our responsibility in where the nation is, where the land is. And I think we didn't drop a lot of the ball. We didn't drop the ball when it comes to, obviously when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to intellectualism, when it comes to accountability, when it comes to work ethic. We have to raise that tide again.
So it's saying we affected, by what's taking place in the country. So it ain't look like we could do much changing. We can't help much. Because we reflect, instead of influencing the culture, we reflected, we don't conform to the world. Then.
Absolutely.
So we need to do some tall calling on God, my friend. Tall calling on God.
I was a part of something, and someone says, well, you know, as the nation goes to church. I say,
Where they get it from?
It was a press conference, so I was sitting there.
Okay.
And I wanted the camera to see me. I was like, what? As the nation goes.
Think about that.
So they say, what you see happening.
You was to the press conference. This person was talking.
Yes, sir.
So they was in a leadership position.
Absolutely.
Making this statement, which is a reflection of how they think.
I said,
now you wonder why where we are?
When the camera's off, I said, beloved, I said, I don't know what you're trying to say there. I said, but no, that's not true. And then the man on about churches were hurting during the pandemic. I said, my church didn't hurt in the pandemic, beloved. Don't put me in that box. Talk for yourself.
A lot
my
of churches
church
I heard actually did better in the pandemic.
ain't a lot now.
No, I said the ones I heard. The ones who spoke to me.
Oh, okay,
said
all right.
they did
all right.
better in the pandemic than they did before.
Well, I ain't gonna say better. I like the corporate gathering, but we had some areas of
Some areas, right.
of great progress.
Right. And even beyond whatever is circumstantial, where you did bad or worse, the church don't go, then the nation goes.
How we go?
That
nation
the
go?
principle don't change.
That's nonsense.
Even if I did bad,
Okay.
the principle still remains. The church don't go in the direction the nation go. I gotta just question myself on some things or whatever I gotta do, but that principle don't change.
Gotcha.
And I even can go with this idea of we are duplicitous. Well, the strong workers, the hotel workers,
They are members.
They are members. You know, so if they lose their job, of course our money gonna go down. Don't preach what you preach no more then.
Right.
Because that's not what you preach.
Right.
That's not what you preach to them when they lose their job and when it ain't a pandemic.
Trust God.
When it's not a pandemic around, that's not what you preach.
Right.
So don't come to me with that now.
Got you.
Because you preach God who provides and who will sustain you.
Right.
And you just listen to me. That closed door is just another open door. Now people
Now
laid
that
off.
closed door
It affect the people and their jobs affect us.
But then of course if that is the mindset, then we see why it did.
Absolutely.
You see, because if that is your mindset, I mean,
And
it's
that's
what
your
you were
level of
preaching, you
faith.
didn't believe, but that is where your level of faith really is.
Absolutely.
And that's why you were affected the way you
And
were.
that's what you imparted.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. It didn't have to be that way is the point.
You released that anointing on your people.
That is what occurred.
And now that's what's happened.
That is what
Man, the Matthew 9:29, I dealt with it, nothing being on me. When you read in the Amplified, what Jesus says, according to your faith be it unto you.
Right.
In the Amplified, it interprets it like this: become what you believe.
become what you believe.
That's what Jesus says.
Wow.
Jesus says to them,
That's good.
become what you believe.
That's good.
Write it tonight. You write it tonight.
That's good.
That
Don't
thing,
try to change my message, man.
dollar bet, he wrote it tonight.
You can try to write it.
Dollar bet.
What you believe.
Become what you believe.
Boy,
That's a part of your sermon I ended up on.
that's it.
Absolutely. That
That was your last point, actually. I don't know if that was your last point, but that was your. You said that was your last
Did you
point.
stop watching?
That's what. That's
No,
no.
I do, but an hour after that. Then, if it's you got hit that and run. Become what you believe.
Yeah.
That thing did something to me.
Yeah.
You trying to become stuff, but you ain't fixing your believing.
Wow.
I said Amplified 8. Sorry, thanks, Marisha. The message version, not Amplified. The message version of Matthew 9:29 says, "Become what you believe."
That's
not
good
Amplified.
stuff.
Man,
Yeah.
listen.
That was
Anyway,
powerful.
yeah, Lord. So we got to get our thinking right, our believing right, our faithing right, so that we can become what we should become. I put so much responsibility on the church, man. We gotta raise the tide. We gotta raise the tide.
Even like you said, even in the things that we do, which is our faith.
Do you know he's coming every weekend? You getting dead comfortable? I see you like leaning back in your chair.
No.
Show overtime, show that.
I got you.
Oh man, that don't.
I see. He's so comfortable right now. Come on next week, man. We can be next week's holiday.
Yeah, next week.
We need the
We
whole day.
celebrate on Monday.
We need to grab dinner on Monday. I know that's too much time.
We celebrate on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we celebrating on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was thinking that we. Okay, got you.
Yeah, because holiday on Saturday.
Right. So
Yeah.
okay. No, I said it because Christmas is celebrated. We only celebrate the Boxing Day on the Monday.
Yeah, they can't give you all two. You can't
We
give
can do
people
Friday. We can do Friday. Then Monday. Got you.
If the holiday on that weekend, you grab him one. You get one holiday.
One.
Holiday. You wrap your box some other day. Them box with the day before.
Money gotta make.
Money got to make, buddy.
Money have to make. Got you.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today, and looking forward to seeing you again. Well, I guess it can be next week. It'll be week after next. We come back on again with another show. Thanks for tuning in. Did we get all the comments in here? Oh, Marisha had a long one. I think a major contributor to the lack of, you see, I comment, a lack of improvement or innovation being seen is poor advertising. I personally think that there are a lot of things that are happening within different entities in government and quasi-government that we just don't know about because it's not being promoted at all.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Bad PR.
I agree with that. Very good point. Yes, Pastor Rickeno, the right leadership, it still comes to that.
That's your Barnaby.
Pastor Lawrence Hepburn. Hey, buddy. I hope you're doing well, man. This is wonderful. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, my brother. Hope you're doing well over there in 8 Mile Rock. Hey, Nita Mo. Powerful as always. Nita, thank you, man. I hope you'll be sharing our video with all them thousands of friends you get now. All right, Nita Mo. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you. All right, we out of here. Those of you, prayers happening now at Word of Life, right there in across from the Guardian. There in Oaksfield, so we encourage you to go there. You got an hour more for curfew, so you can make it there. And
Hour more for curfew?
Yeah.
I thought you meant for the night.
No. I mean, I know you go. You may grab it hour tonight. You grabbed it last week.
No.
You did get it right.
A little more.
Yeah, all right. You was in longer than me. But tonight we start at 7, so I promise you I can be on before Word of Life. We can be on before y'all. Because when he gotta.
Prime up again.
Yeah, when he finishes up become what you believe. We're gonna be at Life. Those of you who are more in the central area, we're gonna be at Life. They've already started. In both occasions, they already started our time of prayer. And so we invite you to join us there. With y'all Zoom. Y'all still Zoom through the week.
Yes.
All right. Okay. We'll talk.
What day?
Wednesday is Zoom.
Yes.
You don't advertise that. That's intimate in house.
Right.
I got you.
Whenever you talking with angels, make sure.
Yes, sir.
That boy Marshall Angels up, boy. That dude caught the only person I know named Raphael as a teenage mutant Ninja Turtle. I thought he talking about Ninja Turtles. When he talking about that Raphael, I a teenage mutant Ninja Turtles, teenage mutant Ninja Turtles.
Listen to me.
That boy had me, boy. I say, come Raphael. I don't know what you do, but come. What do you do?
Rafa.
Think about Rafa.
Oh, he's
Rafa
here.
Healer.
Yeah.
Raphael.
Raphael.
Yeah.
Jesus Lord, see. Anyway, we going, eh? Invite me and Rickeno. I'm gonna come for that one too. I ain't fine for these fellas. These fellas have got a name. We going. Y'all have a blessed night. We'll talk to y'all later, man. We out.